Got some breaking news out of Iran. We are hearing for the first time from the new supreme leader of Iran, Mojtaba Khamenei.
Mojtaba Khamenei, the new supreme leader, wants to go.
The new supreme leader of Iran, Mojtaba Khamenei, has vowed to keep blocking the Strait of Hormuz in a first.
The Islamic Republic of Iran announces a new Shobim leader, not elected by the people, not chosen through democracy, but handpicked through pressure, politics, by the very military machine that controls the country. His name is Mojtaba Khamenei, son of the man who ruled Iran for over 4 decades. A figure who spent years operating entirely in the shadows. No speeches, no public appearances, no confirmed voice recordings known to most Iranians. Today, we ask, who is this man? How did he rise? And what does his appointment mean for Iran, for the Middle East, and for the world? This is the Shadow Supreme. Tour 1969 in Mashhad 1. Holiest cities, Porneta Fosina, Soleimani entered the world as the second of Ali Khamenei, the Mashhad the Kham, who would go on to become Idida. From the very beginning, his life was shaped by religion, revolution, and power. He was named Mojtaba after Navab Safavi, a radical Shia cleric, whom his father described as the man who first, quote, kindled the fire of revolutionary Islam in my heart. A name is never just a name. He spent his early childhood in the northwest of Iran, received his schooling in Tehran, and then, at just 17 years old, made a choice that would define his future. He joined the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, the most powerful military and political force in Iran. He served alongside names that would later become legendary. Qassem Soleimani, the Quds Force commander later assassinated by the United States in 2020. Hossein Tayyib, who would head IRGC intelligence. And Hossein Hamadani, who rose to Major General. These were not just colleagues, they were brothers in arms, forged in the fire of the Iran-Iraq War. Iran-Iraq War, one of the bloodiest conflicts of the 20th century. And not in the middle of it, he took part in Operation Beat Ol-Maqdars II in January 1988, a major offensive in which Iranian forces captured up to 40 hill peaks in the Mawlut region of Iraq, with Iraq suffering over 54,000 killed wounded. Then came Operation Dawn 10, March 1988. Iranian forces executed a surprise assault on the heights overlooking Darbandikhan Lake. The Iraqis never saw it coming. 10,000 Iraqi troops were killed or wounded, 5,000 more captured. 3 towns and 100 villages fell into Iranian hands, including the town of Halabja. What happened next at Halabja is one of the darkest chapters in modern history. Saddam Hussein, furious at the Kurdish populations who had cooperated with Iranian forces, ordered a chemical bombardment of Halabja. Thousands of civilians died. An entire town was destroyed. Mojtaba was there. He witnessed this. This was the world that shaped him. And in Operation Mashhad, July 1988, he fought in a brutal counter-offensive against Mek forces that had penetrated 145 kilometers into Iranian territory and were marching toward the city of Kermanshah, home to 500,000 civilians. Iran stopped them, launching a decisive retaliation after allowing the forces to advance deep into its territory, turning the situation into a strategic counterattack that inflicted heavy losses on the invading army. After the war, Mojtaba pivoted back to the seminary, back to learning. In 1989, he traveled to Qom, the spiritual capital of Shia Islam and the 7th largest city in Iran, to formally study Islamic theology and become a cleric. His teachers included some of the most respected names in Iran religious scholarship. He didn't just study, he taught. For 2 decades from 2004 onward, he delivered Khariji fiqh lectures, the highest level of jurisprudential instruction in the Shia seminary system, a level so advanced It is a prerequisite for attaining the rank of Mujtahid, a scholar qualified to independently interpret Islamic law. His students described him as sharp, methodical, always raising critical question. He prepared detailed written notes in Arabic. He challenged established positions. He was not a figurehead teacher. He was a real scholar. At the start of the 2023 academic year, over 1,300 students registered for his lectures, with 700 attending the opening session alone. But here is the contradiction that defined him while he built this intellectual reputation inside the seminary walls outside to the Iranian public. He was virtually invisible. No speeches, no sermons, no public addresses. Most Iranians had never even heard his voice. He was, in every sense of the word, a shadow. While Mojtaba remained invisible to the public, intelligence, analysts and Western governments were watching him very closely. By 2009, reports emerged that he had assumed leadership of the Basij, the paramilitary volunteer militia that is one of the 5 branches of the IRGC, the same Basij that was used to crush the Green Movement protests of that year. In 2019, the United States Treasury placed him under sanctions, not for any official position because he held none, but for acting as if he were already the supreme leader. The sanctions cited his work with the Quds Force, his ties to the Basij, and his role in advancing what they called his father's, quote, destabilizing regional ambitions. And in 2023, leaked IRGC reports published by Iran International confirmed what many had suspected for years. Mojtaba effectively controlled the Basij and exercised significant influence over the appointment and dismissal of senior intelligence personnel. When Ali Khamenei's health began to decline, the question of succession became urgent, and for years, analysts had pointed to one name, Mojtaba. But there was a problem, a significant one. Under the Iranian constitution, the supreme leader must be a Mujtahid, a fully qualified Islamic jurist. Mojtaba holds the rank of Hujjatul Islam, one level below Ayatollah. He technically did not meet the constitutional requirement. Then there was the principle. Shia theological doctrine explicitly discourages dynastic succession. Both Mojtaba and his own father had publicly voiced opposition to the idea of son succeeding father. But on the night of the 28th of February 2026, an airstrike attributed to Israel struck the compound of the supreme leader. Ali Khamenei and other family members were killed. Mojtaba survived only because, according to a leaked recording, he had stepped outside for a walk minutes before the strike. In the chaos that followed, the IRGC moved fast. Reports indicate that IRGC commanders pressured members of the Assembly of Experts through in-person meetings and phone calls. There was strong opposition. 8 members reportedly threatened to boycott the electoral proceedings. On the 8th of March 2026, the Assembly of Experts announced a unanimous vote. Mojtaba Khamenei was the new supreme leader of Iran. Donald Trump called him a, quote, lightweight, and said the selection was unacceptable. After the announcement, Trump said he was disappointed and warned that Iran's new leader cannot live in peace. And then, Mojtaba disappeared again. Since his appointment, no confirmed footage of Mojtaba Khamenei has been released. Photos posted on social media under his name were identified as AI, generated by BBC Verify. Iranian officials say he sustained minor injuries to the face and foot. A leaked recording from his father's chief of protocol confirms he was outside when the airstrike hit, but other forces, described as high-level medical and security contacts, claim he sustained life-threatening injuries, was placed on a ventilator in intensive care, and entered a semi-comatose state. On the 12th of March, a written message attributed to him was read on state television, promising revenge. Analysts noted typographical errors and unusual language. A source in Tehran told the media line it was dictated by the IRGC and released under his name. History has a pattern. When power is inherited rather than earned, when a military apparatus begins to eclipse democratic process, when decisions are shaped behind closed doors. The outcome is rarely simple and never accidental. The Islamic Republic of Iran has long claimed its legitimacy flows from divine will interpreted through scholarship and faith. But what unfolded in March 2026 suggested something more complex, a system testing its own limits, a quiet recalibration of authority, a moment where theology and power did not collide, but subtly converged. For decades, Mojtaba Khamenei existed in the shadows, unseen, unspoken, yet never irrelevant. And now, as he steps closer to the center, the narrative is no longer about inheritance alone. It is about intention, about whether a figure shaped in secrecy can navigate a system built on both belief and control, and possibly redefine it. The question is not simply whether history is repeating itself. The question is whether this moment marks a break from it, and whether anyone is paying close enough attention to see the difference. In early 2026, reports and political claims began circulating, amplified by Israeli sources and figures like Donald Trump, alleging that Mojtaba Khamenei was linked to high-value properties in cities like London and Dubai through offshore networks, though no independently verified evidence has confirmed these accusations. At the same time, unverified rumors also suggested that Ali Khamenei had considered France amid uncertainty, highlighting how speculation and narrative are increasingly shaping perceptions of Iran's leadership. The real story on this in our next video. So subscribe for the latest updates, and if you like our video, please comment.